Hello, everyone. We've got everybody rolling in from the waiting room. My name is Fabs. I am part of the Picmonkey team. I run social media over at Picmonkey for about 5 years now. I'm a big Picmonkey fan. I absolutely love creating designs for my job every day in Picmonkey, but also just using it personally. It's a super amazing tool and a big part of my life. And I love coming across users who love it as much as I do, use it as much as I do. And Liz here is an extremely talented author, artist, illustrator, teacher, mom, wife, all of the things. And we're super excited to have her here with us today to talk about her process and a little bit about her story of how she made this happen, this awesome bag. So Liz, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. So yeah, I am recently an author illustrator, but most of my life I've been just a mom math teacher. And this has been a really exciting, fun journey. And I'm so excited to share with you guys today. I was just talking with Fab about how geeked out I
Oh, oh, I don't know why.
I'm good.
There we go. Yeah, it just.
I'm a teacher and I'm actually very familiar with Zoom now. So I'm gonna kind of walk through. Fab, are you ready for me to start sharing my screen? And because I kind of like to tell my story through Picmonkey and kind of show you my evolution and where I got to. But yeah, I'm published author and illustrator, and I've got another book coming out that I'm starting to work on. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I was just making you a host so you can share your screen, and I muted you. So you are now a host, so you can go ahead and share your screen. And I'm going to enable attendees to unmute themselves. So if you guys have questions for Liz as she goes, or you have any comments or anything, you can either put it in the chat box, I'll be monitoring, or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question.
All right, so we are on my crazy unedited, but I wanted to go all the way back in time. There's so much random stuff in here. Unsorted is my messy place. All right, so here we go, the beginning. So I started using Picmonkey because I have zero experience whatsoever with illustration and or graphic design or anything at all. And but I have very specific things in my head that I wanted to see. And so when I found Picmonkey, I was using it for, this is my kiddo, my second, requested an ice cream bear party when he was 2. So I was like, okay. So I created a little invitation and then I created little signs for that. This is our Christmas card over here. That's what I was doing with Picmonkey. I was just making invitations, and Hendrik then requested a purple party. I used it to make Christmas sweaters. So I just was playing around with it. This is a butterfly fairy visited our garden, and I printed up a little make-believe note for my kiddo. So that is how this started. And then I had an idea for a book, and there's so many amazing templates available for, I'm sure it's in here somewhere. This is kind of getting into my illustrations that we're going to talk about today. But I used Picmonkey to create the template that I actually did to pitch my idea. And so I created a really beautiful little resume and I sent it off. And so this is actually the layouts of my book. So I've got a shared folder that I've shared with my publisher that I actually go through, and we've gone back and forth and edited together. So that's kind of cool. All I had to do was invite them. They aren't even Picmonkey users, but they were able to see and engage with all of my art and download it, which was really cool. And even do edits kind of live together, which was rad. And then I created this page. These are all each individual like images. They're all, I was just telling Fab, 10 by 10. And then this, I did a little more scaled down so that I could fit it, but this was a way for me to kind of visualize all of the pages together. And so You Got This Mom is just like an illustrated, kind of an updated mom book. It's a very manageable amount of information on each page because when you're a mom, you're exhausted. And so because of that, it ended up being really illustrated. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do today is go through and create some of these illustrations. Let me see if I can find some of my, so I've got like this fruit. I was so obsessed with how the fruit turned out. This is your boobs before baby, pregnant, lactating, and then after baby. If you've ever had a baby, you're probably familiar with that. This is so this is what I'm going to show you guys how to do today. So here's these sketches that I did. Here are my sketches for today. And I'm going to show you guys how I took something that I just literally this morning, pen and paper, wrote down, and how I transformed that into these beautiful images. Does anyone have any questions for me before I go forward? How's everyone doing? Fabs, are we good to go?
You're doing good, yes.
Awesome.
Again, if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourselves, or you can also pop in the chat. We'll be monitoring that.
This is another one of my favorite illustrations. I love how that page turned out with the baby and the mama.
So did you actually draw that baby?
I did draw that baby.
Amazing.
And what I love is you can kind of see the texture around the head, the way that I'll show you guys how I use Picmonkey to give it kind of this rough edge, because I wanted this whole book, I wanted to look kind of scrapbooky. You'll see there's like a lot of like tape images, and it turned out super cute. Like the actual print itself, all of the pages that have all those taped down little graphic cards, like today's goal, keep the tiny human alive. It really looks like tape. It's really cool.
It really does. I love it too, because it's like so much good information, and it's like being a mom, I mean, a new mom for me specifically, is like pretty intimidating, and like you are sharing this information in such like a refreshing way, and like not an intimidating way, you know, like with your sketches and the images and even like the fonts that you chose. It's all very like approachable to take it, you know, so it's really, really well done.
Thank you. Yeah, so these sketches, that's what we're going to be showing you how to do today. So I just loved how the sketches came to life in Picmonkey. So that's my fun thing that we're going to show you. Okay, so to start here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So if you could pin me, I'll just show you like my sketch and how this process begins. Am I large? I don't know if I'm large or small.
You are large.
Okay, good. All right, so this morning I just used watercolor paper. I love watercolor paper because it just has such a pretty texture, and one of my favorite little pens. And I just got back from Hawaii with my family, and so I was like, oh, you know, that'd be fun to do like some fruit. So I just sketched a pineapple and a mango. And so I just want to play with those pineapples and mangoes with you today. So the first thing I do is I use my phone. I use the Picmonkey app. And you can either take the picture before or after. I normally take it before for no particular reason at all. And then I'll go in and I will edit that photo. So it just says edit a photo. I've got my picture of a mango, and there it is. And then I like to adjust. I normally up the brightness quite a bit and up the contrast quite a bit just to make it a little bit crisper looking. And then I go into at the very bottom, it says BM remover. And you could do this 2 different ways. Because this is a round shape, I'm going to do it kind of a quicker way. So I just press BG remover, sorry, not BM, BG remover. And then it removes everything for me and it kind of just leaves that outline. So there it is, the outline's there. And then I'm going to manually restore. And so I'm going to restore because I love the texture of that paper. I wanted to keep that. So I restored and I literally just with my finger, it's really, really easy, go through and it gives you like a little blue when you restore and it gives you a pink when you're not. And I just make sure that I got it all perfect in there. I'm not going to do it with you because it is like meticulous. I'll just sit there and play on my phone for a second. And then once you're done, check it, save it to your hub, and then it's in my hub. So I'm going to show you guys now what I do once I have that little graphic in my hub. Does anyone have any questions with that? How to go from your phone to your hub with your sketch? All right. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and here we go. Okay, so I am going to go into kind of where I spend most of my time these days, which is my Instagram. So my Instagram handle is Liz Swenson BFF. So this is where we're going to get to, this image right there. And this is where I have all my Instagram images that I make. I have lots of different, so my new book is called, well, tentatively called Raising Tiny Humans. So I've got a little Raising Tiny Humans tab over here. I actually do some work for my district as well. So I've got teachers tab. My husband makes me do stuff for his volleyball team. So I've got that. And so that's where I'm going to start. So I like to start in here because I like to keep everything really cohesive looking on my Instagram. And so what I do most of the time is I take an image that I've already made. So I kind of already have the color palette there. I actually just, and I'm so excited to use this for my next book, discovered the brand kit. I don't know how I didn't realize about that before. So that's going to make everything like even easier. So I'm going to just edit this guy right here. So I just edit a copy. And that's where we're going to start. All right, so this guy has a whole bunch of little stuff on him. So I'm just going to get rid of all those. And I actually kind of like this font, so I'm going to stick it off to the side. And let's play with the mango. We're going to start with the mango. So I did the same thing with the pineapple. I sketched it. And then I used the BG remover and I put it into my hub. So in my hub, I've got, we're going to start with the mango. Okay, so there's my mango. And I honestly don't have to do too much to it. I kind of like to crop and get really close in on it just because I'm going to be making a wallpaper with it and we're going to have like a million of these mangoes. So I'm going to just close in on it. And then let's add a texture. So I just became so obsessed with how pretty this is. So when I originally pitched the idea to Familius, my publisher, they really liked what I had originally given them, which is what I had made for my best friend, which was like a 12-page little, truly a little scrapbook. And I had done watercolors on it. So I wanted to include the watercolor images. And there's just all these beautiful watercolor textures that you can choose from. So I like this pink one, and I really dig that spot. You can change the size of that. So I'm gonna make that really nice and big because mangoes kind of, fade there. So I love that. To me, that's a perfect little thing. I'm also gonna fade it a bit just so the texture of my sketch comes through a little bit stronger. I really do like that color, so I'm gonna up the saturation just a bit. Beautiful. Okay, there's my little mango. I'm done.
I am amazed. That is so cool.
Yeah, so we've got a little mango and we can play with that mango. I love how pretty these get when they're small. It's like that, it's a very gratifying, that little shrink effect.
I'm looking at here in the book. I'm like looking at this first page and I'm like, they look so good. Like
Yeah.
just look so perfect.
Yeah, they really turn out cute.
Yeah, someone just said, I love this, especially the idea of doing this to some of my youngest son's drawings. Totally.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You could, it's kind of crazy how beautiful, like my sketch, I mean, these are doodles. I liked that look. I like that kind of messy, scribbly, textured look. So, and then I love the way the watercolor looks on the paper texture. It looks so pretty that way.
And combining like that doodle look with the watercolor and then with like clean fonts, I feel like it's like
oh yeah, no, it's just this like,
yeah.
Totally. Okay, so the pineapple's slightly more complicated. So let me show you the pineapple. The reason the pineapple is complicated is there's two colors to a pineapple, right? There's like the yellow and the green. So let me show you guys how I did that. So I'm just going to create a new setting because I'm basically going to create layers of pineapple, and one layer is going to be yellow and one layer is going to be, and you could do this for however many colors you want for your image. So I'm just going to do a blank canvas. I want it to be a decent size. I work in inches because that makes more sense to my brain. I'm just going to do a square. Okay. So now I'm going to add in, remember I had gone through, I took my sketch, I did the BG remover, I filled in, and it's now in my hub. So you want to add image from my hub. There's my completed pineapple, but we're going to show how we get to our completed. So I'm going to add the image. All right, there's my pineapple. I'm not going to touch it. I don't want to touch it on purpose because then I'm going to be adding another pineapple on top of it in a second. All right, so let's start with the yellow. If I didn't like this when it came in, if I thought that it needed to be darker, I might go in and adjust the brightness and the contrast. I really like how this is though, so I'm not touching it, but sometimes I do mess with that. So we're gonna go into watercolor, and it's a pineapple, so I'm gonna pick my yellow one. I like to kind of push this around and see where there's like a pretty texture. I like that texture. This one, I definitely need my sketch to come through. I saw there's a question.
Yes, somebody just said, will you be sending a recording of this Zoom session over email? You're sharing very valuable information. So I was wondering if I had a resource to look back to. Just a quick answer to that. We will be sending a replay via email, but this will also live on our YouTube channel. And you'll see Liz's face on the thumbnail and you'll be able to recognize it. But yeah, it will live on our YouTube and we'll send it out.
Beautiful. I'm so sorry. I was doing things while you were talking. So I didn't like that my sketch was kind of hidden. So I faded it quite a bit. I like my pineapples kind of mellow yellow. But I also messed with the saturation because if I don't have enough saturation, it gets all gray. So I want like a nice mellow yellow, but my sketch comes through. So I love that you can play with the fade and the saturation until you get to like just the right spot. And I love that this watercolor texture kind of has those splotches of texture. I have also since learned, which I'm going to be doing for my next book, how to add my own texture. So I actually, for my next book, have done my own watercolors that I'm going to be, actually, I didn't do them. I had my kids do them because I wanted that for my kids to be kind of a part of the book.
So cute.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, so I did the yellow. I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna add another pineapple right on top. Oops, sorry. Yes, apply that. Adding a pineapple again. Okay, so now my pineapple's right on top. Now I'm gonna do the green. So I'm gonna go into my texture and you can watercolor yourself and add your own textures. That's what I'm gonna be doing for my next book. But this is a really easy way to do it, which is less work. All right, so this green, oh, so lush. So I love that splotch right there. So I'm gonna move it right in and give my pineapple some texture. I'm going to fade that a little bit. You could be like super specific on having these fade percents be the exact same. I'm not that worried about it. I like everything. Also, when I did the BG remover, I left a lot of space around just because I love that look. I just love how that little outside the edge, it just makes it look so handmade. Okay.
So really quick question for that. You did the background remove and then you painted back on the middle of the pineapple and then those little edges, right?
Exactly. Okay. And the reason I did that way instead of the other way, because you can also just do the whole thing by hand around it. The reason I did it the other way is it's a rounder shape and it's easier for me to, with my finger, make a round shape on the inside rather than the outside. So super simple reason why I did it that way. Any other questions? All right, this is a really fun part. So we're gonna apply and now we're gonna make it look like a pineapple. So I'm going to erase. I always do 100% because I want it to look like it never was there. You can up the size, I don't mind the size. So now we're gonna reveal the yellow pineapple underneath. So easy. And again, I want this, so I got a little green that I missed. I want to keep like a little, you know how there's like a little green at the bottom of a pineapple. So there you go. Actually, it's a little too much green. There we go. Happy little pineapple.
So cute.
And so because I want this for my other image, I'm just going to go to my background. Here, actually, let me slide that over a little bit more so you can see it better. And actually, let me slide this over a little bit better so you can see it better. And for pick a color, I'm just going to come down here and pick transparent. And now I have a pineapple. Done. I can call it pineapple. Actually, I called the other one pineapple. Do you know what's so funny? You can name things the same thing and Picmonkey doesn't care. It's like you'll just have two things called pineapple there.
That's totally.
I'm gonna call it pineapple 2, just so you know that we're using the one we just did together. pineapple too. All right. And so it's in my hub now. There's nothing more I need to do. So now I'm just going to go back and I'm going to go to my little mango page that we were working on. And time to add our pineapple. So I'm adding from my hub, and it's my most recent pineapple 2. Add image. Beautiful little pineapple. And now we just play. We can do whatever we want with these. I'm gonna just do a little fun background, like a little wallpaper. I am really, again, I like the organic look. So I'm not precision with wallpaper. I know wallpapers, like you can use the grid and make it really nice. I don't care that much about that. So I'm just gonna put my pineapple at an angle, get it to a size I like. And, oh, I didn't crop. Let's crop this guy a little bit. All right, and I'm just going to copy. So I just Control-C on my keyboard, and then I'm gonna do a bunch of pineapples. And I like that they're all the same size. And then my other thing that I like to do when I'm making a wallpaper is I don't touch the rotation at all, but I will flip them and put them at different angles, but just by playing with these, because I feel that that gives it a little bit of a cleaner vibe. And I'm just spreading out my pineapples wherever I want them to go. They're both on that one. Flip that guy. I think I need more pineapples. And this is a very organic part. I just kind of play with it and look at it and see if I like it. I don't even count or anything like that. And now I'm gonna add some mangoes. Oh, you know what? We need some pineapples over here. Let's add some mangoes and start playing. I want my mango size in proportion to my pineapple. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. And I'm just kind of playing around. Did someone have a question? Oh, I want to move these guys around. Let's get that guy upside down.
You guys actually can mute yourself, unmute yourself now. I had said that you could in the beginning and it wasn't enabled. That's on me. I'm sorry, but if you guys want to mute yourself now, you totally can. This is such a cool way to create like custom graphics, you know, like people spend so much money to like buying like illustrations and stuff like this from websites, and you just made them in like 5 seconds. I'm truly amazed. It's so great.
Yeah, it's really fun. And honestly, I just was like playing around. Like everything that I've done, I'm totally self-taught. So it's all just me messing around and being like, oh, I like that. I wonder if I could do that this way. Like this pineapple, I think should be going in a different direction. And yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. I kind of liked that font, so I left it off to the side. And I'll probably bring it back in a second. All right, that's looking pretty cute. All right, maybe like one more pineapple. Bit. Does anyone have any questions for me? my mangoes and pineapples. So see, I'm just kind of spreading them out, and I don't like it when they look the same when they're near each other. So I just moved that one so that they weren't the same. All right. And you can do whatever you want with this. I like to make my fonts similar colors that are in here. So you can't see this. So what I'm going to do, another fun thing for my book that I did a bazillion times, is I just like to add like what looks like a little cardstock on top. So I'm just going to add this guy. And put him in the middle. And white. And because I want it to look like it's actually there, do a drop shadow. Sometimes I mess with the drop shadows, sometimes I don't. I mess with the drop shadows a ton with my fonts. I don't mess with them too much. So here's all my fonts. I'm going to bring them up to the top so I can actually see them. All right, summer's coming actually is a cute thing to say there. And I'll just fit everything in. Here, I'll promote myself, follow. And then Liz Swenson. Uh-oh, BFF, that's okay. I'm gonna make the font color one of these pineapples. Oops, I don't want both font colors. Go back. Don't like that. That's my favorite, undo. I undo a lot.
A handy button. We got a question here from Jan asking, are you using a specific size for your book pages?
Yeah, so I was asked to do a 7x7. So when I create all of my images, I make them 10x10. Just so that the clarity is really nice. And I have lots of room for bleed on the images. Oops. Let's make this guy a lot bigger. Oops, too big. I hope this isn't boring. This is like what it looks like all the time. Oops, too much.
No, we have someone here just said, I've learned so much here. Thank you. I know there's much more I need to explore in Picmonkey, but I think that honestly, like I said, I've been using Picmonkey forever and I learned something new. So I think we've all learned something here.
Oh, yay. I love adding tape. I think tape is just so cute. So I just took a rectangle. I also like to make sure it's never like 90% because no one puts tape on it, 90%. And white. And then fade. I always do around 60%, like right at 60, 63 is good. It's always good if there's something behind it because then that like pops a little more. So where's that pineapple? Come on up, pineapple. So there's some tape. And I'm just giving myself another piece of tape. So I copied it and I pasted it. Actually, the white tape is cute, but I think it looks kind of boring. So I'm gonna add some color to my tape. I love a light green tape. And you can do, sometimes I do a drop shadow on the tape, but only if there isn't something behind it. So you can see it through, but that's it. Does anyone have any questions on my little mango pineapple sketch tutorial.
So good. Give it a few seconds if anyone wants to pop in with some questions. If not, I'll ask some questions. Daisy said, awesome. It makes me want to go play around. I know it makes me want to go play around. This seems like something fun to try too, not only like doodles and illustration, but also like even lettering. I would like to try like writing stuff. This is a broad question, but how did you first figure out these things? So good.
Oh, how did I do that? I never knew about BG removers. I'd never heard of that. And when I was making my kids' illustrations, like back in the day, I would find the images online that had these little squares. And I literally Googled things like, how do you get the gray squares on the back? And I figured out that was, so ours is pretty similar to my little demo that I practiced this morning. I figured out the word BG remover, and then I realized that that was something that was available on the app. Honestly, it was just kind of Google research, and I think I went on Picmonkey and would find little tutorials. I've watched tutorials on how to do things. A lot of just playing around in online research. But yeah, it took a while. I feel like every time I created something new, I got better and I learned something new. Like going into my second book, I feel so much stronger because I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Like these I created, this is my new book that's coming out. And I started illustrating on my computer as well. Like this is like a little illustration I did on my computer, and then I added that in. Yeah, it was definitely an organic learning about layers and textures and how to layer things. Like I was definitely stumped by how to do the 2-color thing for a while. And then I was like, oh, if I just made it its own image and then added and then erased, that would totally work. So a lot of messing around.
Yeah. We have another question here. Great.
Yeah.
I'm a graphic artist and I want to share what I do with my coworkers. How do you copyright what you do on Picmonkey? I want to own my illustrations.
I have no idea.
I feel like I should know the answer to that, and I'm pretty sure that you.
I do know that my book was all copyrighted by my publisher, so I had nothing to do with that end. So I know that all the images from my book are all copyrighted, and I've got like what do I have? A little ISBN number. I'll show you guys my book again. So like I love, there's in real life the wallpaper all printed and pretty, but this is just me messing around. Like notice that it is not perfect. And these wallpapers and sketches are all over my book. There's a little nursing bra.
Oh my God, that's so cute. I don't know if this answers anyone's question, your question, Roberta, but CC just says here, as a longtime author, your work is automatically copyrighted in the USA. And here I'm going to drop in an article that has some information about using your images for commercial use with Picmonkey specifically. So I don't
probably need that. I'm going to go get that. I'm brand new to being an artist for sure. This just happened. I had a baby and 6 days later I had a book deal. It's crazy.
That is awesome. So speaking of book deals and all of that and pitching an idea for a book, can you give us like 3 top tips for pitching a book idea to a publisher?
I would say, I mean, I've only done it twice now. So the first time I wanted to do something really, really clean that popped. I wanted to express my idea. I wonder if I can find my pitch right now. I'm sure it's on Picmonkey somewhere. I wanted something that expressed kind of what I was doing and why I was excited about it. And I used just a template from Picmonkey to create my pitch. I did it basically like a resume. I also researched publishers. This was just an idea that kept bugging me. And so I can't find it. Oh, I know. I think I put it somewhere. Dang it. But yeah, I researched publishers. I found someone that I thought, one, accepted random submissions. Not all publishers do that. And then two, I created something really beautiful and clean to submit to them. They were very clear what exactly you needed to include. And so I made sure that I included all those things. And I literally just submitted a PDF copy of my original. I had done the whole thing started. I was just making a gift for my best friend. And it was just a little mini, like, here's how to survive your first baby for her baby shower. It was just a gift. And so I just submitted a PDF copy of that with pictures I took from my phone.
Wow, what a story. I love that. That's so cool. Like from a little gift to this big old thing.
No, it's so heavy. I was shocked when I first got it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy.
And then so the advice you kind of covered this a little bit during your tutorial, but for keeping illustrations and your images and your designs consistent throughout the book, was that something that you would edit a copy for every single time, or how would you keep it cohesive throughout the entire thing?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to share my screen again and to answer that one, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Here's my little, see, there was an invitation I made. So I had this picture for my little 1-year-old. Okay, so here's my shared. So what I did is I kind of I had a set of colors that I was using. And so I stuck to that, but I did all of the chapters one at a time. So my goal was more to make the chapters cohesive. And I had, a set of fonts. To be honest, I kept changing my mind on what fonts I liked best. So then I would kind of go back and make sure that all the fonts were a little bit more cohesive. I don't know how many fonts I used, maybe like 10. Yeah. I know that every time I wrote any little like bit of information, that was always what I called my handwriting text, which is, I don't know what it's called. It starts with a law. I know what it looks like visually.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it's called.
And then I did so sleep is a really obviously cohesive one. So I really liked using like sparkles. You've got like a little star image that you can add in there. So I used a lot of stars, and I love the Formica with the stars together. So this is like the cover. And So I just loved the way that texture of the Formica. And again, that was just a texture. I used the stock textures here and then added some stars on top of that. And I love my cardstock, obviously. So that's there as well. But what I would do is I would set a chapter image and then I just kind of make sure that I kept that vibe going. Like, so for body, for me, the way that I thought of it is like really green. And so body became a lot more green, a lot more poppy. Like I also love like the sex chapter has way more bold colors. I let myself get a little bit more bold, a little bit more contrasty because it was, but doing it all in one space and kind of going back and looking. And then when I went to set everything together, I actually did each individual page first and then went and laid it out after. And then when I laid out everything after, I just made sure that each page looked beautiful together side by side. And I'd adjust each one until they looked perfect together.
This is such good work. So
Thank
cool.
you. Any other questions?
Cece here in the chat is giving some good advice regarding copyright. So if you
good. I need it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then last question. When is your next book coming? When should we expect that one?
Oh, thank you. Let's see. When is that coming? I know when it's due. It's due in April. So it's going to come out spring of 23. Spring of 23.
Amazing. That is so cool. And how cool for everybody here today that you got a little sneak peek.
Honestly, this was like mostly my pitch. I haven't even really started. So for this same thing, I like pitched like 10 images and
raising tiny humans. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited. The title might change. They get to kind of have final say on that. I got to pick the my original title for this. The reason my Instagram handle was Liz Swenson BFF is because it started with the BFF Guide to Surviving Baby. But it's long. That's a long title. So we ended up with You Got This Mama. This is they were like, you can do the cover. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it took me a long time to figure out what I really wanted for the cover. I made like 1,000.
They're so good. They're so good. This is like my new, all my friends are having babies right now. So this is like my new like gift. Like I love sending a little gift basket to moms like in the beginning of their pregnancy. And I'm like, this is like a new
that with like some cute comfy pajamas.
Yes.
That's
like
what you
slippers
need.
and yes. like belly cream or something. That's like my go-to.
That's perfect.
Well, thank you so much, Liz. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, for your questions. I know we all learned a lot today, and super grateful for your time and for you sharing all of this really good information. We will be saving this to our YouTube channel once again. So if you ever want to go back and check it out, we'll have it there, and we'll link it also in our YouTube channel, Facebook, everywhere. So if you're looking for it, you'll be able to find it, and definitely go follow Liz on Instagram. She has awesome reels and just mom like info and advice and all such good content. So definitely check her out. Everyone's saying thank you. So wonderful. Learned so much. Great webinar. So all good things. Thank you all so much, especially you, Liz. We will see you all at our next webinar, hopefully.
All right. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Liz.
Bye.